Hi, this is Joseph. It is Tuesday. It's September 14th. We're going to take a look at last two trades that I executed with the trade copier. This is for the Forex automated trade signal service, and we use Social Trader Tools as our trade copier. There's nothing to download. Let me walk you through this particular trade. Actually, we're just a few pips away. I believe it went down as low as 2. My final target here is the 00, but in situations like this, I mean, it's already moved from the entry of 97. So there's approximately 96 pips if it hits the 00, which is, again, it's already made a move on one of my platforms, the MT4 platform, and hit a low of 2. So we're only about a pip and a half or so away, pip and a couple of tenths away from the final target there, which would result in 96 pips. 96 pips is $960 on one standard contract, one standard lot, I'm sorry. So this is a really good trade, and at this point, there's no reason to really let it go. I'll come back to this in just a moment. I'm going to walk you through the details and how this whole setup developed. This was actually a couple of trades from yesterday. You might remember the reversal here and the video, and then we topped out here. You can see 3 pushes to a high, a very, very typical, common behavior that we see quite a bit. And it's just a matter of waiting for everything to sort of unfold and to confirm what it is your expectations are based on your experience, right? You're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, well, we're approaching the London session. Very often we see reversals. Sometimes we see it push just a little bit further to sort of bait in a lot of traders at the beginning of that session, and then we get a really decent reversal. So let me walk you through the entire process. We'll come back to this, and perhaps during this recording it'll hit the 00. Either way, I'm not going to let it go too much further. I'm going to lock in the profits here. The first target was 50, the psychological level of 50, but it also was based on the count that I had here, and that led me to the possibility of picking up 46 pips if it was going to stop there. But you can see just how clean this sideways pause was this morning during the New York session, and then it resumed that downtrend. So let me walk you through the entire setup here. So this is pound futures. This is that old resistance we keep talking about from September 3rd. Here's the high. We traded this last week. That was the move to the downside. This was the move from yesterday. It moved back up again this morning. One more test. You can see, again, this is the reason that I count the waves. And what I'm doing here is, again, we had this move to the downside that really didn't have a whole lot of momentum behind it. And then it spiked up one more time, obviously right around the New York session open. And then it stalled there. You can see there was a lot of effort. This is one of the biggest prints here with volume, clear volume indicator right here. Futures contracts, you can see that there was a lot of effort, but it really wasn't closing very far away from that resistance point from September 3rd. That was pretty significant. So that was my first heads up on this reversal pattern right here. And then the whole thing sort of reversed right here. This is what I was anticipating. But that second candle that closes relatively flat, that is that confirmation that what I'm expecting is likely to happen, along with that volume signature, that volume footprint, and that reversal. So from this point on, it's just a matter of waiting for point and figure to give me my entry. So let me bring you back to the point and figure. But this is what it looks like on the bar chart. You can see that this this bar actually closes about 50% of the length of that candle, this bar here. And then if you would incorporate the two, that's pretty deep. That's quite a bit of a reversal here. So let's go back to the point and figure. So here was my entry on this point and figure. I could see that it was moving back up again. A lot of volume, a lot of participation, but very little reward for the amount of effort put into this move to the upside. And then the whole thing just sort of flipped right over. Now this is a double bottom reversal. I do want to say a few things. I don't always trade these. When they're this quick, I don't always trade these. But the fact that I had 3 pushes to this high level here and this resistance, and the way it looked like here on this chart, that is my confirmation. That is a pattern that I'm very comfortable with trading. Had this been more or less maybe 1 or 2 columns straight to the upside and then a strong reversal, I might have waited for some kind of a retracement and then looked for another entry over here. Let's say another test of this shoulder. Perhaps at that point it would have printed something that looked more like a head and shoulders pattern. It didn't do that, and it didn't have to, because I already had the indicators and the confirmation that this thing was actually starting to top out and it was going to likely roll over. So again, here was my entry at 97. So that entry is at 1.3897. That's the entry. And then the first target based on the data was here at 50, 1.3850. That paid approximately 46 pips. But then I had an additional count which brought me down here to this final target here at the 00. Now it's sitting here at 8, and then it's kind of bouncing back and forth between 8 and 7 and 6. I'll wait a little bit longer. Again, I'm not going to wait and let it give back all this profit here. I want to lock in all of this profit. But if it hits that final target there, there's a total of 96 pips on this trade for, again, one standard lot. That's going to result in $960 on this trade alone. Let me take you to the euro dollar, which did pretty much the same thing. Little different structure here. This is what I was talking about earlier, that head and shoulders pattern here. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It really depends. Each one's going to be uniquely different in its own way. This is the same time frame compared to what you just saw on the pound dollar, the bar chart. But you can see that there was definitely a big difference here. This one sort of went sideways, and that was about it. And then it dropped one more time. Let me walk you through the point and figure chart. Okay, I'm sorry about that pause. I had to close out the pound dollar trade. So now we're looking at the euro dollar. This is the euro dollar, and you can see that it is very different. The structure, the setup. We did have one move to the upside. Really didn't give me that 3 pushes to a high, but I could see it sort of playing out here. But this was that final test, the way it just sat there and then started to drop right back down below this support here, which gave me an entry at 1.1824. Now my first target was the 00. I've already locked that in. That's approximately 24, 23 pips. So far, between these two trades, I've earned 118 pips. And all of my Trade Copier subscribers that are using my service are all getting the same trades. They're getting in at the same time. They're getting filled at the same time. They're getting closed out at the same time that I close out these trades. There really isn't any delay at all. Again, 118 pips so far with the Trade Copier, which translates to approximately $1,180 today with just these two trades alone. If you're just trading standard lots, over $1,100 today with just these two trades alone. And there were two other trades that we took earlier this morning. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, I am going to have more subscriptions available in the next few days to this Trade Copier service. I'll send you the link as soon as I have them, and you can sign up right away because they do go very fast. My subscriptions go and sell out very, very fast. So immediately, as soon as you complete the checkout, you'll be redirected to the dashboard. There you set up your trading account. You watch a short video. Within 5 minutes or less, you're connected. You specify the lot size, and then you never have to worry about it again. I'll be executing all of the trades and managing them just like these every single day throughout the trading week. Thanks for watching, and I hope you had a good trading day.